I'm Dan Starr. I'm a professor in molecular and cellular biology at UC Davis. I was drawn to research for three main reasons. First and foremost, I'm a cell biologist. I'm fascinated about how nature works, and I've always been captivated by the inner workings of the cell. We use microscopy. We get to peer into this hidden world of the cell, and honestly, it's incredibly beautiful. This sense of curiosity continues to drive my research today. Second, I believe in contributing to the greater good by generating new knowledge. I hope that our research will uncover new basic science that will fuel future technologies and medical breakthroughs. Even though our studies may feel basic, they lay the groundwork for big advances that will come down the line. And third, I'm deeply motivated to train the next generation of scientists. Helping young researchers launch their careers not only multiplies the impact of my work, it also ensures that science continues to serve society in powerful ways. My lab is funded by the National Institutes of Health, and we explore how cells are physically organized. Specifically, we study how organelles inside the cell are positioned to specific locations, and how the cell's internal architecture affects its function. So one question we like to ask is, what makes the inside of the cell more like a jello than like a soup? We study how changes in the cell's mechanical properties, such as its stiffness, its internal structure, and its crowdedness, how these things can impact the cell's function, especially in living tissues. We're also investigating how these properties change between different tissues, throughout development, during aging, and during disease progression. On the training side, I've been honored to lead an NIH-funded program called PrEP at UC Davis for the past 8 years. It's a post-baccalaureate program research experience for scholars from disadvantaged and underprivileged backgrounds. Young scholars who have the potential for grad school but didn't previously have the opportunity to go to grad school. We place 6 scholars per year into UC Davis research labs, and there we offer mentorship, career development, and support. Of the 50 scholars we've trained so far, 47 have gone on to PhD programs. And I can honestly say this is the most rewarding and meaningful work that I've done in my career at UC Davis. One of the major discoveries from my lab was identifying the molecular machine known as the LINC complex. The LINC complex of proteins physically connects the nucleus to the rest of the cell. And defects in LINC complexes have been linked to many diseases, including cancer, muscular dystrophy, and the neurodegenerative disease ALS. What we found is that cells inside animal tissues are much more crowded and constrained than we previously thought. Imagine a packed dance floor late at night where everybody is just jiggling in place but hardly moving because it's too crowded. In one striking experiment, we mutated a LINC complex protein, and suddenly these particles had much more freedom to move about the cell. This suggests that changes in a cell's mechanical environment, even subtle ones, could be key to understanding diseases like muscular dystrophy and ALS. Without federal funding, our research would come to a screeching halt. Right now, my lab is doing the best science that we've ever done in the 20 years of our history. We're on the verge of major insights into how cells work and how changes in their structure may contribute to diseases like muscular dystrophy and neurodegeneration. All of that would be lost without sustained support from the federal government and the National Institutes of Health. More personally, the PrEP at UC Davis program, our training initiative for underrepresented young scholars, was terminated last week, without warning and with 2 years of funding remaining. This program has helped 50 students transition from college to PhD programs. Without it, we risk losing an entire generation of diverse scientists. And that loss would ripple outward, not just for those students, but for the future of science itself and for the public who would have benefited from their ideas.